Well, hi, my friends. Let me ask you something. Have you ever just realized how much time and how much life and how much energy, how much money that we have put into our craft of making? Sometimes you need to just stop and just take a look. I was looking for something, and lo and behold, I found something that I had lost. So this is Jay. This is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, and bringing you Jay's Lost and Found. I lost it, and now I have found it, and it's more than I could even knew that I had or remembered. Or what am I going to do with it now? So let me just give you a little taste of just a little part of some of my crafty life. You know, I'm going to do doing several videos on Jay's crafty journey. Well, on this video, I was looking for something, as I said, and I found a whole bunch of dishcloths. Back in the day, before I got into groups and things like that, and really, I would just be at home. Maybe, I guess I was still working or whatever, and I'd come home, and maybe late at night when I was watching TV or something, I would just knit dishcloths or anything small. I mainly love different stitches. And so I really wasn't doing the sweaters like I'm doing them now. I'd do a sweater every once in a while, but not like I'm, once I got on YouTube, I started really doing sweater tutorials. So I would just do swatches. I would just find a stitch. Oh man, I love the idea of just knitting that stitch into a swatch. And really, it was a lot easier, as you saw my wall of cotton, to just use cotton back in the day when, the peaches and cream, when everybody was just, that peaches and cream and sugar and cream or whatever. Every time a color would come out, you'd run to the store to get 2 or 3 skeins of it. And I would go back home and just find a new stitch, something new I found. Maybe in a stitch book. It wasn't so much, I didn't have YouTube and all that. YouTube, it wasn't about that. I didn't even have that. It was just in and out of my books. And since, like I said, cotton was king back in the day, so I would make dishcloths. So I want to walk you through what Jay found in her Lost and Found. Hold on, I'm going to really show you something. All right, so let's just start. I don't know anything else to do because I have a pile of dishcloths, and then the baskets you saw in the pictures, those are the crocheted ones. So we'll do those last. All right, so just right off the bat, one of my favorite little dishcloths, or these are like little coasters or little scrubbies or anything small, was the corner to corner. It's where you start and you're working, to make, you start at a point and work up halfway, and then you decrease down. So apparently I was making this. I usually had a system, so if I have 3, there may be one somewhere else, because I don't think I would have just made 3. So apparently it might be one somewhere else. But just look at these. I'm not going to dally because I have so many, so I want to just simply show them to you. And I was just using the cotton. Now I bought cotton in the small skeins, like when the sugar and cream, but I'll show you in a minute, I also bought the large skeins. Joanne will have the large skeins of cotton. And as you saw on my wall, I have a wall full even to this day. So now, where am I going to put this? I don't know, but let's just start. All right, so let's move that and go to another style. I'm just going to pull them out. I have no idea. Now here's this style of dishcloth. Now I'm going to just check and see if I can just keep everything on one and not move the camera. Okay, that's good. All right, here's this style where you have knit. This is all in garter. You just knit every row. You start at a point, knit up. It's the same thing, but you have a center spine. So apparently somewhere along the line I fell in love with that, or I wanted to give it a try. You know, that was the thing back in the day. Oh, they are nice and squishy. None of these have never been used, people. Now I have a lot that I gave away. These are just some that I found. Like I said, Jay's lost. I lost them. I forgot I had them. I was looking for something else, and now they're found. All right, so let's just move on. We're looking at the same style. I try to put a little bit to show you a little bit, maybe different styles. This is that variegated yarn, and I had a little thing at the top, I guess, to hang up. You know, I need to use these. I need to start using some of these. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Just nice and soft and pretty. These are all knitted now. And we'll say the crochet. Look at that one. Is that ugly? But it was beautiful to me at the time, apparently. Apparently I love... Oh, there's a center spine, so that's the front then. So it's really a square on the diagonal. Can you see it? Okay. Let me just reach... I'm just reaching around. Here's some more of the corner to corner. I had a lot of this Christmas light with Christmas. It looks like peppermint. I remember buying this when Joanne got that in. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get me two. I got the two big ones. Because I was going to, for Christmas gifts, I guess to my friends or whoever, I was going to make everybody some peppermint candy dishcloths. Corner to corner. Okay, so that's one. All right. This is one, I think I was just doing a stitch. It's just moss stitch or seed stitch. I think I just made this up. I was just practicing. That's really what I used it for, was to practice. And like I said, I wanted to do a stitch. And back then I had no clue I was going to be on YouTube or anything like that. I was just at home knitting myself happy. But I had no idea. Here's more corner to corner. Isn't that nice? They are so pretty. I just need to use these. We're all stuck in, and it's just fun to look back. Maybe you have to do this too. Go back through some of your old boxes, your old bags. Maybe you have a bunch of lost and found items to show. Look at that. Now that's interesting. That's pretty, isn't it? Let's see if I'm on camera. Let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, look at that one. As you can see, I really like that one. I would get stuck on things. Just like now, sometimes I'll get stuck on a stitch and want to do several different things with that stitch. Oh, this is pretty. Look at that. Now it looked like I would have made something. I'm sure I made... Now, they're not in order and they're stacked up. I just took them out of the big drawer I had them in, the big plastic bin drawer. So I didn't set them up in any kind of order, but I think a lot of these that I have later on you'll see, and maybe I'll come back and match them up. I think I made a large size or a different size, and then I made this corner to corner. So I'll show you this when I get on down a little further, that there's something that matches this somewhere. All right, now look at this one. Oh, that's pretty too. What do you think? Isn't that nice? Oh, I love doing the corner to corner. Oh, here's a brown one. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Kind of a tweed effect. Front, back. These with the garter stitch, it didn't really matter because you could hardly ever tell the right from the wrong side. And like I said, corner to corner is pretty fast. You just knit up as large as you want it, and then you start the decrease down to make this point. Does that make sense? A lot of you have done it. I'm just reaching over. They're not in any particular order because there's too many of them to put them in order. So I'm going to just throw out a bunch like this. Look at that. Here's another, corner to corner. Oh, that's nice. All right, now we're getting into some of the stitches. All right, now the stitches was, like I said, I just love doing stitches, and so I would just do swatches. I would just make little, and it just seemed sensible to make a dishcloth. At least I'd have something instead of just a plain, and this cotton. So now look at this. I have no idea what stitch is, some kind of little border, some type of little, it's not a cable. It's not real lacy, but it's some type of little border. There's the back of it. All right, let's throw that over there. Oh, let's see what this is. Maybe I was thinking of a baby's blanket for somebody and then got tired. I would do stuff like that. I'd come up with a big idea and look, halfway, or just getting it started, okay, I'm not into that. Because I really don't do children's things and baby things and things like that. But I started that. Or maybe, I think this may be the kind that I would go use a pattern and then make it, then go into stockinette where you just knit and purl, and then you can fold it, and then you can stitch it so that it's like double. And really, see, now this side, if I sewed up the edges, I would have this really pretty smooth side, but yet I'd have a nice rough or textured size. Does that make sense? So I think that's what this was. It was going to be like a pretty spar cloth, face cloth, textured on one side and smooth on the other. I have no idea what this is, people. I think I was practicing striping because I would never have all these ends. So apparently I was just sitting and I had leftover yarn. You know, maybe I had some of these variegated yarns left over, and I had a lot of white. I would always buy a lot of white. The large skeins. I can't tell you how many I have. I can look up on the shelf, and I have just lots of skeins of white because you can always go put it with things. So I think I was just using up scrap yarn, you can see. So I might be nice to just weave those in. This will make a nice dishcloth for me right now in my kitchen. Oh, here's one. See, I think I was using up scraps. And you, like I said, you could always put white and just use up anything left over. Here's the back and the front. All right, I'm doing them at random. It was too many to put them in any kind of order. All right, here's one. Oh, isn't that pretty? Here's yellow with like a brick. I don't know if you can see that texture, but it's really like the brick staggered slip stitch pattern out of some variegated. This is variegated. I didn't do the colors myself. I can just tell and then flip it over. Look at that. That's kind of pretty. I think I can use that in my kitchen now too. Look. Oh, that's nice. Nice and big. All right. Let me clear some of this out so I can go on to the next bundle or group. Back in just a minute. All right, real quick, just a reminder of the yarns that was just so popular back in the day. There was the peaches and cream. And let me, I adjusted my camera, so let me check. Yep, I think I'm good. There was the peaches and cream. And then there was sugar and cream. And then sugar and cream had a larger size, which I would buy, you know, to match up with the variegated that I would buy. So here's a smaller size. And I'd always buy, you know, they always had it on sale for hardly little or nothing. I mean, you can get it now really cheap. And then I would buy the larger size, you know, maybe for the background or just to have the solid color, maybe to match. And then I also loved they had Lions brand cotton too. And I have this in lots of colors. And it came in this large type scheme here. Got lots of blues, and I really enjoy that. And then this is how I would buy most of my, as you see on the wall, on the pictures. And I always put my white in a plastic bag. Now this yarn has to be 10 or 11 years old, because I stopped making dishcloths years ago. This is Bernat. And they would always have different colors. Oh, I couldn't wait to get to Joann's to see if they would always come out with a new color. Or I have lots of solids. I have variegateds. Oh my gosh, I just love when Bernat came out with this cotton. Has a nice little finish to it. They always had a pattern on it, something. I guess Sugar and Cream had, a lot of times you get some kind of pattern on it. But like I said, but special white. Now I've seen that. You've seen this design. I don't know if you can tell it by looking at it on here. But anyway, I recognize that stitch. Look, this is still brand new. Had never got around to this because I would just buy so much of it. And then immediately bring it home, and I would put it into plastic bags to keep the white from turning. Or, getting the color. Letting anything get on my white. So like I said, this has got to be 11, 12 years old, maybe more. But that's the yarn, just to remind you. Now let's go on. Bloop! Remember I had this one? I showed you that one a minute ago. Okay, well I looked, and I did have something. I noticed there was something. A lot of times, like I said, I would make some type of set. It would just be fun, just to... So now here's the corner to corner, where I use the same yarn. And then I would try to find something a stitch or something that would look pretty with it. Let's see that one. See if I'm on. Yep. Look at that. Ooh, I'm sorry, I hit the camera. I'm trying to make sure I don't have to adjust. Okay, so look at that. Has a nice little, kind of a lace, a little small, simple lace. You can, but nice on the back, nice and smooth, all finished, always weaved in my ends and everything. But like I said, sometimes I would try to make a little set or something, because I never knew when I might want to give it to someone. Okay, now let's continue to go across. Like I said, these are the ones that I knit, so I did just a lot of stitches for a lot of the dishcloths I would do. Instead of, they were really swatches, but I would finish them off and just use them as dishcloths because they were cotton, and I didn't want to just waste all that work. Now here's a pretty chevron, or this might be horseshoe. Looks like the horseshoe. Now it doesn't really look that pretty on this particular yarn, but it didn't matter. It was all about the stitch and the process. And like I said, knitting is just practice, practice, practice. And that's all I was doing. Just enjoy myself. Okay, now here's one. Oh, some of these are just, now it would be like, Jay. Alright, so what I would do, find a stitch. I want to do a stitch. This is like one of the feather and fan stitches. See? Then I'd just get tired. So then I would go into stockinette, where I just knit, and then you could bring it down and double it. You could sew up the sides and make a really, like I said, a texture on one side and smooth on the opposite side. It was just a way of, like I said, I just enjoy the stitch. I like the process, people. I like to see what it would be. Those are some colors, huh? That should get anybody's attention. All right, let's go. No random order. There's too many. All right, here's I guess I was creative on this one. I put a little hanger on this one. But I started with a pretty little lace pattern at the bottom. You see that? I don't know what color this is. It's kind of, it looks like kind of a, I don't know, taupe color. It's kind of taupey in color. I don't know if it's showing up. And then I go as far as I want it to, and then I just make a couple of garter stitch rows. And then I would go into stockinette. I kept my borders. Go into stockinette all the way up. And it really made a nice, gift. Because you could fold it in half, and then you could roll it, roll it, roll it. And look. Beautiful, beautiful gift. And then I started trying to print stuff. That's when I had got my computer, of course. And so I started printing myself little labels, little tags to hang on here. Who knows where I was going with that? Okay, then I would try cables because, I didn't want to spend a lot of time doing a bunch of, large cable things. But I love the idea of doing cables on these small little pieces of fabric. It was just like delicious. I'm going to pull in just a little bit so you can just see it. There we go. Just pull in a little more. Okay. This is a nice cable, nice big cable too. I don't know if that would make a great dishcloth, but it made great practice. Oh, here's another one. Oh, look. Oh, this is pretty. Now here's a nice beigey brown looking color. Now first I did a nice lace out of the same. You probably recognize it as something we've done because I used the same stitch books. I've used them year after year after year. Stitches. I would just knit stitches over and over and over. So in my dishcloth phase, I knit the same stitch I knit now that I knit for my sweaters. This would be a nice, look at that, kind of a nice brown or beige color. And then I did as much of the lace I wanted because I thought that was pretty, not to have too much, because the idea of a face cloth or dishcloth or something like that is to have this smooth area. This is just for decoration. So then I would, like I say, you could fold them in half. I made myself some little printed labels with some flowers or something on there. I put it, I'll have to find some. Let's see, here is one, but then this is the crocheted one. Well, I can't get that one off. But anyway, I had some stamps and I would stamp on them like, thank you. Maybe it was a thank you to someone for something. And I'd do maybe 4 of these. Well, maybe just 2. Maybe just 2. Oh, look, just on cue. I didn't even know it. Look, just on cue. This might have been a gift, going to be a gift for someone. Here's another feather and fan. Stitch at the bottom out of this blue. Now they've been folded in a drawer so long. This feather and fan at the bottom. Like I said, the whole idea of a spar cloth or face cloth or dishcloth is this area where you're going to really, this is where you do the work. This is just for decoration, so you'd be washing the dishes and stuff with this section. But I just love putting a pretty stitch. And there's the back, nice and clean. See, I always finished them all the way to the end. I didn't leave tails and things. Everything looked really pretty. I wanted them to look just as nice as I could. And look, 2. So this I had in mind for somebody or do something with, because I don't know why I'd just make 2. But again, I'd fold them in half, roll them up, print off a label, some type of little pretty band. Or sometimes I would just take up some pretty ribbon. Back in the day, I'll get someone, I change the camera. Again, back in the day, I'm going to lay those right there. And then I would just take the ribbon like that. Back in the day, you can get a lot of nice ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And I would just buy spools of ribbon and tie a pretty big bow. And maybe I had a basket or something that I was going to do, with the recipe cards or whatever. All right, so I'm going to lay those there just for a second. Oh, look. Here's another one. That's real pretty. Pretty stitch, pretty lace at the bottom. And then right into, now I don't know if I wrote down a pattern, if I had a certain amount of rows. You know, I just probably, it probably was just a free fall. I just had an idea. Like I said, this is a part you want to, that's usable, that you want to work with. This was more of decoration, but I don't know if I had a pattern, if I just made it up, or if each one was separate. And see, I could have put, let me pull this one back. See, I may have taken, I didn't like to just always do the same stitch, but this is the same stitch, and I could have paired these two together. See, I could have just come here, paired those two together, just dishcloths. See, I always thought I was always in gift mode. Not that I had that many people to give. I don't know. I was just always in gift mode. I didn't want to need a gift and then have to go, oh man, I'd give my dishcloth, but look, I didn't finish it, or it didn't look right, or I just kind of stopped halfway. No, if I needed a gift, I could just know I could go to my dishcloth stash. Here's, like I said, here's two different colors that would go with anyone's pretty kitchen. Maybe they had some beautiful countertops and pretty cabinets. Wouldn't that been pretty? I bet y'all move the blue and put those over there. Okay, here's some variegated. Here's a pretty little wave stitch. I think I was testing this out to see, because I thought it looked like water. The blues and the greens and the teals. Doesn't it kind of remind you of maybe water? So I found a wave stitch. I thought, oh man, that looks nice. And like I said, they pretty much, you can fold them in half this way. There was all kind of ways to present them or put them together. And you can fold them like that, or do the roll. Oh, here's another wave. Oh, that definitely looks like water. It's a pretty, pretty blue. Hey, bird. Look at that one. Pretty. Fold it. And roll it. Fold it and roll it. I had a system, people. Always in gift mode. I didn't want to make anything to just go to waste. I wanted it to be something I could always reach in and use. In the nick of you just needed something quick. You're on your way out the door, and all I had to do was grab up a few of these, grab some ribbon, and voila. All right, let me set my camera again, and we'll just grab another stash. Back in just a minute. All right, so here, oh look, while I was off camera, I found another matching. So see, I kind of know how I operate. I normally like to do more than just one sometimes. And I found, let me move my pretty basket. Look, I found another matching, so I was thinking of a set. See? And of course, I found this cute little basket, and I thought, well, wouldn't that be pretty? I'll just stack them in like this. See? You just... Now, isn't that pretty? Let's see if I got it good on camera. What do you think of that? See, I was always in gift mode. I just didn't do things without just thinking about, okay, could I use this later? Could I use it for something? Would someone like it at work? Or, you know, someone's birthday coming up at work. Find a little basket, and voila. So I think I'll just sit that up there just for the time being. And let's move on. Let's see what else I have in this stash. Oh, here's something. Look at this. All right, now. I move my camera, so let me check and see if I'm still on, if I'm still doing good. Oh, here's something with, I went back and picked up a few more cables. Just It's just a stitch to just kind of practice. It wasn't anything in particular. They're not particularly hard. It was mainly just to practice, just to keep my hands busy. And when I looked, remember I said sometimes, look. Voila, look at that. Now that could easily go with that, because it's the variegated and the solid. I probably got the solid in one of the big rows, larger rows. So I could just simply take this, I rolled it up. There's that, and then you have this really pretty corner to corner squishy little dishcloth to go with it. What do you think of that? Doesn't it make a nice pretty picture? Hey, look. Voila! What could be easier and simpler than that? Of course, you need more than that. You're going to add something with it. How about maybe the person had some great spices that they like. Maybe they like, basil and all the other spices. You maybe pick up and get a little basket and fill it full of pretty spices. So there's one. All right, let's keep going. Let me see. All right, now here is... Now see, sometimes I just be lazy. I didn't want to do a whole thing. Now here's something here. I just put a little bit on one side, and I was probably like bored, like, okay, maybe it wasn't that interesting or something. Or maybe I was watching something on TV and wasn't that into it. Put in just a little bit. But again, I made it long enough so that I could fold it. And so it would make a great presentation. Then just this size, I have the decorative side, and then I have the smooth. So it's pretty much. And then I look at this one. It's not the same stitch. I like to use different stitches, but you can still put them together. That's a nice little simple, very simple little stitch. Can't hardly see it, can you, with all the variegation going on. But look real careful. And of course, here's that long side so that you have plenty of good space to use. This is just decoration. Then I could just fold it in half. We'll do a little roll. And there's that one. How cute is that? This was before I was doing sweaters, but I wasn't doing them like I'm doing now on YouTube that fast. It was just, this was mine I just loved because I was still working. And so I just loved to make. When I got home, I didn't want anything really involved. I just wanted a taste of something. I just wanted something to keep my hands busy. And like I said, I had so many stitch books. Naturally, I wanted to practice lace. And this is like, dishcloths back in the day were like instant gratification. You didn't have to, it wasn't like a long sweater. Now there's that one. Ooh, that's pretty and peachy. Look at that lace. All right. Of course, you got the side of the working side. You can have that. And then if I couldn't find anything to match it, or maybe I wasn't in the mood, I'd find something else. Here's another little nice stitch. More like a bamboo or, some kind of basket looking stitch. You can pair stitches, just to make one stitch makes another stitch look even prettier. By just putting them together. So then you could have that. You could have that. Voila! Okay. This was in my lost and found, people. That's why I thought, what could I do? And then when I was looking for something, I could not believe that I had so many. These are just the ones I kept. I gave away a lot over the years. I mean, I had more than this. I had boxes full, and I would give them away. And these are just some I guess I kept or I stopped or lost interest in dishcloths. Dishcloths eventually kind of went out. There was a site called The Upper Room. How many of you remember? It's still up on YouTube, I believe. But a lot of the people, I don't, you know, 'cause I'm just guesstimating here. But something happened, and a lot of their designers, a lot of the people who were putting their work on this site called The Upper Room. There was a Christmas upper room, and I mean, it was so beautiful. One time I started to even pay for a CD. I'm sorry I didn't do it. I don't think I'd do it now, but she was offering a CD of over 250 of the swatches that she had that people, you know, a lot of people eventually went to Ravelry. And you can get all the swatches, all these dishcloths, and all the, you know, the direct, you know, the row by row knitting of them, and the pattern. And it was like for $250, I was going to order that thing, and I never did. I don't know why. But eventually something happened. I don't know, as always, when things get to take off and then people can't quite see eye to eye or whatever, but a lot of the people went to Ravelry. So a lot of the people who do dishcloths on Ravelry, at one time, they were on that site called The Upper Room. And I remember just seeing their pretty dishcloths, and back then you can download them. Some of them you paid for, but a lot of them were free. And you can just download them and then just sit and knit. And I would just download, look for free ones all the time and download until she gave that, made an offer that you can get the whole complete volume that she had. And I think it was over 250 at that time. So there's some right there. Isn't that pretty? Just showing you. See, so most of the stitches were just the same stitches over and over. Like I said, because I was working out of stitch books, and you just want to, I just wanted to make something, that's all, people. Ooh, here's one. Now that's a little strange one. It didn't matter. Back in the day, these were just such instant gratification. You could do one in no time. You got through and you think, oh gosh, I knitted something. All right, so maybe by itself it didn't look all that great. Okay, but what if I did this? Look at this one. Oh, look. This one I got so, let me just move that. Look at that. Let's see, can I make sure I get this lace on camera good? This one I was so enamored with the stitch. Look, I put it on both ends and just had something in the center, more of like a little hand towel. See, here's the lace and here's the lace or the decorative stitch, and I put it on both ends. What do you think of that? That would make a pretty little something. Like, I'm sorry about the folding, but they've been folded up for what, 10 years, 11 years? These are way back in the day, 2003, 2004, I don't know, however many years. Okay, so maybe this didn't look all that great by itself, but watch. If I paired it with this, look, you got a nice, beautiful set. Look at that. Oh, look at that. See the variegated and then the solid. And I'm sure I had this. I have this yellow and lots of the big brunette. You know, a lot of my favorite solid colors I'd buy in brunette in the big rows like I showed, like the big skeins, like I shared with you. But that is just as cute as it can be. For an instant, for a nice gift. Oh, I need to do more of these with the lace on both ends. All right, so now that's something. Okay, we're still going strong. I guess y'all say, Jay. You remember when I started out, I started with these? All right, I kept looking. I thought, well, now these apparently I had just started them because I didn't finish. You can see this is very seldom that I didn't have the little tails and all that done. But look, I had started a little more of a dishcloth. It's like a little waffle stitch. Remember the waffle stitch? In knitting, when it came out, when people started doing the waffle, they was waffling. They was putting a waffle stitch on everything. It was like the new. It was like, oh, you got to do the waffle stitch. Okay. There it is right there. It's just a real pretty textured stitch. Kind of have bumps. So see, I had this yarn, the same yarn. But guess I was going for something smaller, so I tried these coasters. This is what I started the video showing you. See that? Now, look at that. Oh, set. So it may be another one somewhere, but who knows where it is. I'll probably run across it a little later. But just to show you. All right, let's go to some of the other ones. All right, here's a pretty odd color. Kind of a brown. I don't know where I was going with this. It's not really brown or what it is. But hey. All I cared about was finding a stitch. This is a little textured stitch. Doesn't have much. It's not really lace. It was just probably a little stitch I found, and I just wanted to practice it, just like this one. Look at this one. Just really pretty. Nice and simple. Can't get any better than that. Oh, I see something. Let's see if this is a matching set. No, that's not. I thought, oh, I see something that's matching. All right, let's lay these over to the side. Here is a matching set. Okay. Green is one of my favorite colors, so here's a little texture. It was like a little vine. I wanted to try the vine. Well, I could just try it on a piece of scrap, or I could, like I said, put it in a dishcloth or a little dish towel. And at least I had something at the end that I could use or give away. Okay, now that's that one, but now I have, I think this is, yep, it's the same yarn. Back to the feather and fan. Oh, and look, on this one, I did each end again. I just started the pattern, worked some stockinette, knit on the front, purl on the back in the center, and then end it with the same decorative stitch. Look at that. And then you have it on both ends. So now, isn't that pretty? Wouldn't that make something nice? Oh, I really like that. All right, let's see if there's anything else to match this before I move on to another color, because sometimes I'll run across stuff. Okay, all right, don't have anything to match that, but it's easily, all right, let's go. Here's a hot pink. Hadn't done a hot pink. Oh, that's a nice little stitch. In fact, I think I have this stitch coming up in one of my stitch tutorials. Very common, very basic stitch. But for someone that's new, it's skill building. Look at that. Oh, how pretty. All right, let's go. Here is a pretty, just pink, some type of texture stitch. I have no idea what I was thinking or where I was going with it. It was pretty, and that's all I cared about. Let's see, can I pair it with something? Here's something I could put with it. I believe I did this one, and then I found this pink and brown and white variegated, and I came back, one of the stitches that I've done before. You know, once you get familiar with stitches, you just like to just It's no big deal to just, oh, I'm going to do that one again. So there's a pretty combo. Look at that. You got your solid. Oh, hey, bird. And you've got a pretty variegated. Isn't that pretty? That. This one. You can roll it. Oh, look at that. Ooh, isn't that pretty? So let's put that aside. All right, let's see if we're getting anywhere close. Kinda. All right, here's one. Oh, that's a pretty, that's a real pretty stitch. That looks really pretty. You could use this stitch in, I think I've used it in a shawl or, of course, a scarf, neck warmer. I just put it on one side so you have nice plain side to work with, but you can see the pretty lace, and of course the back is, everything has been nicely woven in and steamed, and I can just take that and lay it there. Let's see, I don't have anything to match that, do I? Just checking before I move on. Nope. So that was just one that I decided I wanted to try. Oh, here's bright orange again, or this funny little stitch, and it's done in bright orange. Look at that. Well, there goes some outside neighbor noise. So what do you think of that? Isn't that pretty? I don't have anything. Let's see. I didn't make anything to match that one, but let's go down. Let's go back. How about if we go back? Because the peaches and cream or sugar and cream, they always kind of match. How about if I stuck this one with that one? Now, wouldn't that be pretty? Look at that. Just a thought. All right, let me reset my camera for the last little batch of my knitted ones for now. Back in just a minute. Oh, look, just as I was putting this up, look, I found the matching one. I found a matching one. So I could roll this one. Here's one. Here's that pretty stitch. Bright orange. Ooh. Okay, and remember I said I could pair it with this one. A little touch of hot pink to kind of pop it. And then I could have that one. That person would get an extra one. Here's your flower. And bird looking on. And oh, isn't that pretty? Wouldn't that be pretty in a basket? Oh my word. Oh, scrubby, scrubby, scrubby. These are the simple corner to corner. So beginners, this is a good way. Well, first of all, this is a good one to just use up scrap. You know, this was just variegated, or you can see I just put in some scrap yarn. So this was always where you start in a corner and just work up, and then you decrease down. This was always a good one to have for scraps. You just make it up. You didn't have to have a pattern or anything. You just decide on whether what number you're going to start with, whether you're going to start with 3 or 4 or 5, whatever. But you can find them on YouTube. There's lots of. I think they're called I think that one of the names is my favorite dishcloths, or grandma's dishcloths, or corner to corner. But these are the knitted ones. Of course, you know you got crochet ones too. But isn't that? So I did. I just happened to look over there and I said, "Oh my God, there's the other dishcloth. Look." Put my flower back over there. So now not only do I have 2 dishcloths, then I have something to give it a little pop. All right, so now that's that. All right, let's see, can we get to, I'm on the last stash. Okay, remember I just did this one, and then I looked over there and I found something. I did this one just a minute ago. This pretty, ooh, I don't even know, it's not blue, it's not teal. I don't know, it's just a really pretty rich color. Remember that? I just had it a few minutes ago out. Okay, and then I happened to look, and for some reason, maybe I saw a pattern or something. I came up with a kitchen mitt. Look, a kitchen scrubbing mitt. I guess you'd put it on your hands, and then you'd scrub a wipe or something. I don't know. I wouldn't use. It probably wouldn't be something. But look, fold it. Here's the mitt. Isn't that pretty? I just thought, oh my gosh. So I wanted to give that a try. Well, instead of just, wasting it, I made it into a set. You never know whose kitchen it might match or whose birthday. All right, now this is one I had done on a video. This is a pretty. Look at that. I believe I put it on the front of a sweater. This is that same one that I just actually did. So I made it into like a little spar towel, just something simple. And then I happened to have this left over with some of the variegated yarn that matched it. So these two could go together. Look at that. See? Because the greens are close enough. Let's put it on this side so you can see the pretty lace pattern of the leaves right there. Isn't that pretty? Okay, look, I see I'm getting close. Let's see where we can go to next. All right, I see this pretty pink. Oh, jackpot. Here's a pretty one. This is like print of the wave. Look at that with the extra lace in between. A really pretty. It's not pink, it's more of a rich melon color. And of course it's long. I just did my own little thing. I did the decorative part, and then the rest of it is just the part you'd use. Folded in half. Now I do not see anything extra that I made for this one. Let's see if I had a little small dishcloth, one of those other ones. I don't really see anything. That doesn't mean it won't pop up later. But there's that. You got your decorative side, and then you have your nice side to work with. Very pretty. Alright, let's move on. Let's see what I have. Look at this one. Oh. Well, I was a little ambitious on this one. I decided to take it all the way up. One side. That was the fun of just trying to know how to take this simple little swatch of fabric and do something different, just so that I could practice the stitch. It's just another feather and fan, but it's a really pretty green. I don't see anything. Oh, let's see if I have anything that might go with it. I don't know if this would go with it, but here's a pretty. Ooh, look at this pretty. Look at that soft green. Same stitch I've done before. Just this one's just in a different color. Oh, isn't that pretty? So you could easily, if I wanted to, didn't matter. I didn't want the stitches to match. It wasn't about matchy-matchy. It was about just. Look. It was about the accomplishment, about the doing, about the making. So there's that. Really pretty. Oh, I really like that. All right, let's see if I have. What else I have? This is one. Let's see if this was. Oh, this is one I did in another tutorial. This was like one of those Christmas ones. It's just real pretty. I did. This is when I did one for Christmas where I had the recipe cards and I did beautiful, like a casserole. Remember the casserole tutorial casserole dish, how to make a pretty Christmas gift. I'll have to find it. It's there. Just find the number. But I put some pretty lace right in the center, and did some pretty textured stitches to frame it. Here's the back, and voila. I believe there was a black and white. Let's see if I can. I don't know what happened to the black and white part of it. There was one part that was black and white. So as soon as you see it, you say, "Oh yeah, I remember that on the." Well, I'm just looking over here to see if I see. Wait, I think I see it. I do. Here it is. Now this is the one. I just simply held 2 strands of that peaches and cream or whichever one together and just cast on maybe 30 stitches, 40 stitches, and I just knit every row and made this beautiful squishy dishcloth out of this beautiful black and white. And it was one that I featured, like I said, in a tutorial on. It was for Christmas. And then I added this pretty red one just to give it a pop of color. It was really pretty. And the casserole dish wasn't bad itself, too. Oh, and I had recipe cards. Oh, I had pretty recipe cards. Okay, I'll try to be sure to link that video so you can go down and take a look at it. But isn't that pretty? Now, who wouldn't want that? And a pretty casserole dish. I believe my dish was white. If I don't know the colors, you're always safe to give either, white or black or something that's, more traditional than, green polka dots when you don't know if they like green or or something like this. So this just worked out perfect. 2 different textures, 2 different little patterns, but very simple to knit. Skill building. Instant gratification. Instant gratification. And then let's see, here's one. Here, I don't know if I had anything, but this is that little, I call it little house motif or little house stitch. There's a name, a lot of books have names for it, but it always looks like a little row of houses, like a little village. And I know I was going to knit this for someone. Someone had moved into their new house, I think. Maybe I gave her the ones that I did, and this was my extra one. Sometimes I won't like, if it's a really different pattern like this, I want to make sure I keep one just so that I remember how it looks. And of course, if I wanted to do it again, I already have one to look at. See the little house. In fact, oh, let's do this one. Oh, okay. I will do this one with the little houses. I know which book. I think I remember which stitch book. But like I say, it's in public domain. I'll look, and we will do this one to put as one of my stitch tutorials. Done. I will get this one, and we'll do it together. It is a lot of fun. All right. Well, so far I'm up to what I'm going to call last but not least. Of course, other things may pop up later. This is one I use in a video, but here's one. Oh, look at this one. I got some soap or something. I had this in a basket. Oh, it's a pretty, pretty dark olive green with a really pretty lace. You may not, let's see if I can hold it a little better so you can see the lace. Maybe if I move my hands. How about that? Let's see, can I lift it up so that you can see the lace? A real nice traditional pattern that you have, but it's in this beautiful dark olive. I think I had it in one of my videos. And of course, I just happened to reach and found some variegated, and I did just like I did the black one I just shared with you. I held it double. I just cast on 30, 35, 36 stitches, whatever, and I just knit till I just decided that was enough. And so it made a beautiful, look, that would make a beautiful set. Look at that. Now wouldn't that be pretty? Look. Ba-bum! There we go. This one's so dark, you can't really see how pretty this one is on camera. Because of so I'm going to bring it up. Because it is the dark olive. But it's pretty on the front, and it's nice and neat on the back. And like I said, this is just knit every row. This is what I had seniors, when I was teaching seniors, I would just have them to do dishcloths or like this, just to see over maybe over the weekend. So when we came back the next week, to see if they could learn how to keep. If I put on 30 stitches, they had to come back with 30 stitches. Well, when seniors, I say, well, how come you got so many stitches? It'd be all wonky, it'd be wide, or it'd be low. The whole idea was to teach them to learn how to get it well, to knit, how to feel how to pay attention to your stitch count. If you start out with 30 stitches, you should end with 30 stitches. We weren't doing a pattern, we were just learning how to keep up with the number of stitches you had on your needles, or not to lose any. Most of the time they lost some. So if I put on 40 stitches and it was this wide, they'd come back and it was all pulled in because they had lost stitches. So they may have something that looked like that when they brought it. They'd have something that looked like that. They're like, well, where's the rest of the stitches at the top? You started with 40, but now when they got up here, you can see it's not the same. But that's what you do. That's how you start, people. Well, I'm telling you, this was a lot of fun for me. Like I said, it was just something I pulled out of the hat. I was sitting here thinking I was supposed to be working on another video, and I done jumped up and did this one. This wasn't even what I was supposed to be working on. I wanted to work on my little life's crafts journey, but this was part of it. While I was looking for something, Jay came across her lost and found basket. Do you have a lost and found basket or bag or box or drawer? Maybe you should check in yours and see what you can come up with in the lost and found department of your crafty life. So, this is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, saying I will see you. Now, remember, there's a crochet version of this. I'll get a crochet version of this and show you what I have in that. But until then, take care. Enjoy your crafty life. See ya.